Okay. Welcome back to day 252. Those last 10 days went fast. Anyways, I'm gonna have to really clean my room tomorrow because the day after my mattress is gonna show up, and I wanted to clean before then, so I guess I gotta do that. Other news. It was really funny because I like streaming myself, playing video games, and I was playing this game, Danganronpa, and obviously there's, without giving it away, a gender situation going on, and in that situation, I'm not quite there yet, but I know it, and so this person was watching and like talking and was like, ooh, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I'm a trans guy, and he was like, cool, what pronouns would you give Shihiro, the person in the game? What pronouns would you give to this person? And I was like, oh, I would do this, blah blah blah. I'm not going to get into it. I could. I think I probably already did. Doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm trying to be secretive now. It's like I'm pretty sure I talked about it before. But anyway, the point is that they were really sweet about it, but I went to his channel because he was really into Danganronpa, like really invested in, me playing and stuff. So it's just like clearly this person's having a good time with it. So I decided to go to his channel and watch it. I feel so bad to say it, but he was the most ordinary looking guy. He was in a dark tan, like kind of polo shirt, like short sleeve with like collar with a few buttons, and in front of like a creamy tan wall. Those are really big in home decor a few years ago. And I'm like, you give me it's so funny because it's just like, you're so into this game, but you're so, or not ordinary, like, not to be like kind of ordinary. And I'm like, oh, okay. And give it, I think he has something in the background, but for most of the part, there's nothing really in his background or anything. And I'm like, what is going on? And, Danganronpa isn't just like, oh yeah, I'm into a particular video game. Like, this is a 10-year-old video game and he never played it before. And it's so funny to me that he's like, yeah, that's the game we're gonna play. Oh, it was so sweet. And I absolutely love him, and he's really into it. Even though he says things kind of monotonely. And maybe I speak like that too, I don't know. But it's so funny to me. But he puts so much effort into each of his streams where he will map out who's dead, who he thinks did it, what he thinks happens, like, before each trial, what items he has, when it's, like, free time. So you have it marked down who, like, what. I'm like, who? That's so much work. I would never put that much work into it. I just go, boop, 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 I'm playing a video game, boop, 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 boop. Like, that's what I do. And it's so funny because he puts so much work into it. And I bet you he was low-key frustrated because it seems like he's really new. And Danganronpa was the first game he played. But I went to his channel, and the first two, the audio was a little loud, and he was like a little quieter. And I bet you that bothered him. I bet you that got to him because Danganronpa is an extremely loud game. Like, I turned it down in the settings and everything, and I still turned my headset down super duper duper low. And it's so funny that just like, you I don't know, it just, like, I had that too in the first couple ones where I'm like, oh man, the sound mixing is just not good at all, and it was a bummer, and it's just funny that it's just like, at this point, yeah, but also, but for him, it just, like, you're ordinary and you choose to play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc with like hot pink blood and all the characters are turned up to 11. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. And I'm low-key lying where I said I haven't watched. Oh, I didn't say. Yeah, okay, I'm lying. Where I said I didn't watch past Trial 2, but that's a lie because I keep watching it. I can't stop watching somebody play it, and but it's so funny that there's such a ordinary guy is just so into it, and he was very, very sweet, where he even asked me, again, like I said, like, what pronouns should you use for this character, and how different things, and I think he tried to absorb it and say it in his next video. I haven't finished it, I'm 20 minutes in, and he's still just summarizing his thoughts, and it's so sweet because I'm like, nah, I play games now. And it's so sweet. It's like, oh my god, and I don't know, man, it was just so funny because he really tries, he puts so much effort into it, and I'm like, good for you, bud, good for you. I don't subscribe to people though, and I do feel bad because I don't really watch Twitch as much as I watch like YouTube, so it's like, it's not something I really do, but it's I don't know, it's very fun, very cute that he was watching, and he sounded so enthusiastic when he was in chat, and then I go to his page and he's like, so I think this is going on, and I'm like, why are you monotone, dude? You're like, it's so funny, and I love it. I watched him. I watched a bit of his very first one up into the first couple deaths, and I watched those, and then I skipped ahead to the newest one, which was the newest trial that he did like today, and I decided to watch it, and it was so great. It was so great because I had that before where I watched this, I was going through just different streamers, and I want to say it was like on Overwatch or something, and this guy was like, old redneck plays video games, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And he just was like an older redneck. I think eyebrows are really just popping off. Like, do they look better than like a few months ago? Like, I think so. Like, look, I think they're a little bigger. Girl, giving me shape, giving me actual eyebrows. I should go back. That could be fun. Cut it. Anyways, what else? That was last night and was so funny. But then, today, just now, I was, walking in here, and my front door was, like, right behind me. And so what happened was, my dog was laying right there. He usually lays right there in front of the front door. But one time, a while ago, there was a snake right there at the front door. And I opened the door and the snake just went outside because it must have been a year ago because it was warm out. And I let the snake out. And the dog got so paranoid about laying in front of the door that he refused for days, refused to even get near the front door because he was terrified there was a snake there. And I'm like, maybe the snake smells. I know there's some snake around here that can produce a smell. But I'm like, maybe just his little dog nose smells it. So we tried wiping down the area and doing all that, but he was terrified. So today, there was a thing there, and I'm like, oh, it's just a leaf, and I started walking away, but he's like, no, and he was scared. He was so scared, and I'm like, oh, it's okay. So I go, but I also don't want to touch it because sometimes he gets a little territorial with odd things. So I didn't want him to get territorial that was a snake, but he wanted it or something. I don't know. And so I like turned on my phone flashlight to be like, look, dude, it is not a snake. So he's like, you promise? And I'm like, I promise it is not a snake. And he starts, you know how when dogs are afraid, but they start walking like kind of really low to the ground, and they like kind of go like this, and they're kind of really scared, but scared walking forward. So he was doing that, and he gets up to it, and he kind of puts his face to it, and he's like, no, what if it's a snake? And so he gets his little hand, and he was scratch. And he just is scratching at this hardwood floor. But the thing is, it's like when they're afraid, they don't go straight for it. So he's like not near it, and I'm just like, it's not a snake. So finally, he did start pushing it, and I guess he realized, oh yeah, it's not a snake, and he just went, oh, okay. And he's fine now. He's laying there being fine, but it was just like, honey, it wasn't a snake. I told you it wasn't a snake. I feel so bad, but it wasn't a snake. So I felt really awful because he was so scared. He was so terrified, and I asked my sibling, like, dude, can you just help him out? Like, touch it. It's not a snake. She was like, why can't you? I'm like, because I don't want to get attacked if he is territorial. Because for one beetle recently, like he was a big, like long beetle, really big antennae. I never really seen them before, so I'm like, are they new? Like, what are they? Like, why? Anyways, really big antennae, like curled, like very classic bug. So what happened was, that the dog found him, but I was the one that brought the beetle outside, so he felt like, the hell are you doing? And the biggest one where he got really mad was I told you, a little bunny stuck in our house. So I got the bunny and I threw him outside. I placed him gently out in the grass. But the dog got really angry because he was hunting it. And I'm like, ha ha ha, screw you. I took the bunny and walked away. So he did not appreciate that. So for a little bit, he was like really salty that I did that. So I didn't want him to be hunting the snake and me destroying, proving it's not a snake. So I didn't want to be the one that did that. So I'm like, my sibling, get down here. But he was so scared. And I was like, just had my phone up. But when I moved my phone one time, he thought I was gonna, like, he was on edge, you know. So he like kind of jumped. And I was like, no, dude, it's okay. It's fine. So he's fine now, but I just felt so bad because he thought it was a snake, and it's his fear. Yeah, he's also a rescue. I have no idea if he ever got into a thing with a snake before or something. So like maybe the snake that we saw here wasn't even his first encounter, stuff like that. But yeah, like for a very long time, he was terrified of this one water bottle we had. It was like pink and it was kind of see-through, so you could see the water in it. And one time I came home from work, I had my water bottle, and he was so excited to see me until I moved my water bottle to the other hand to pet him, and he was so terrified he ran inside. And he's like, okay, I'm done. No, we're not, no. And I'm like, okay. So I left the water bottle and walked to him, and I'm just like, or I hit it or something, and I'm just like, it's okay. And they did say that what they did know is that he got water trained, like with a spray thing. Here's the thing. He isn't afraid of water. He isn't afraid of, like, I don't know. It's just like, it's a little weird because, like, he isn't afraid of water. He is confused by a water hose. He doesn't love that. But it's just like, it's It's a little weird, so I'm guessing it probably was a pink see-through plastic bottle that they trained him with, and I always felt so bad, so I stopped using that water bottle around him completely. And if I saw him, I would just leave my water bottle and just never show it around him, because clearly it is not okay. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'll really just, I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, you know, people are like, adopt, not shop. Well, there's obviously very ethical ways of shopping for pets. And sometimes you got to, because he is a hassle half the time with having to fight for himself. And the aggression with food, especially treats, food, even like, not too much, but even locations. He gets very jealous, where he will just be like, but you're not petting me and my siblings. I literally just petted you for an hour, like, straight, and he's just okay. Pretty much what happened is my phone did that thing again where it just switched to picture and then like loaded the video, and a little like it looked like the video didn't exist, and then I was like, did you delete it? And then I went back to it and it was there, and so I decided to go eat, because I'm like, okay, my sibling came down. I'm like, okay, let's just eat and hang out for a second. I don't know what I was talking about, but it's almost over anyways. But yeah, it just kicks me out. I don't know if it deletes anything. I don't know if it shows my confused face of being like, why? I have no idea why. I thought I did something, but like the first time it did this, but I wasn't near the screen, so my head hurts. I took some Motrin though, which is good. I'm realizing if you're in pain, you should take medicine. I know, it's one of those things that I never thought of, because in my house, medicine was shamed upon. So that's trauma for another day to unpack and deal with, but right now, I'm still just looking at my eyebrows. Like, yeah, are they the best? No, I haven't shaped them or anything, and look at this. Look at that. This one's okay. Look better like that. Anyways, point is, dang, eyebrows, you kind of got bushy, or like, I haven't done my eyebrows ever. No, so I was like 8 or 7 years ago. And besides that, I really haven't done anything to them. I haven't done anything since. This is all just because of well, not this, but this is all because of testosterone, dude. My eyebrows be looking different. They really be hitting different. I wonder if that's true, if I'm just like not it's not actually any different and I'm just thinking it.